Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Today we begin the summary of the Shabda Khandana, the devaluing of the word, and wherein we saw how the word cannot remove ignorance, and the word cannot reveal the truth, because ignorance is not there, so there is nothing to be removed, and truth is self-established, so nothing other. The word being the product of ignorance cannot reveal that which is continuous, that which is always, that which is self-established. For telling this, we use so many words, so many pages, yes. And we are going to do the summary also. So what is it? The fifth chapter ended on the thought that although the word is not capable of defining the truth, it does not have a limited role as a pointer to the truth, either through the technique of Sambadi Brahma or as a reminder of one's own essential nature. So while we are living in this ignorance of I am an individual, I am this body, I am this mind, I am this intellect, I was born, one day I'll die, I am occupying so much space, I am so many years old. As long as this individuality is there, to such a person, the word is beneficial by pointing the truth to the mind of the seeker, and second, reminder of one's own essential nature, and either through the technique of Sambadi Brahma. So Sambadi Brahma, we saw that Brahma means illusion and double illusion. That is Sambadi Brahma. So it's not that you are creating the truth, but what you are doing is by using the word, you are cancelling asat. The word Sat, Chit, Anand are also words, and they are not, on one hand they can be pointing to the truth, no doubt, but on the second job that they are doing is they are checkmating all the asat, all the achit and all the dukkham. And in this manner, in this chapter, Sant Jnaneshwara analyzes in depth the nature of the word, its greatness and its limitations, so as to enable the seeker to assess the value of word in the correct perspective, neither overrating it nor rejecting it outright. So what is its greatness? Its greatness is that it can act as a pointer to the truth. It can remind you of who you really are. And what is the limitation? That it is incapable to deliver the truth or incapable of removing the ignorance. And therefore, both the things happen only by realization, only by abidance. In other words, that statement can also be a bit limited. How can you remove that which does not exist? See, ignorance. How can you remove ignorance which does not exist? So, like we say, the sun rays have removed the darkness because the sun has come up. Is darkness a thing which can be removed? Is it a thing? No. So, but it appears that way, no? That the sun rays are coming and slowly, slowly the darkness is withdrawing. Same way, it seems the ignorance is withdrawing. Uh, so here he says, what is that? Not rejecting. The limitations of the words in both these areas are analyzed. Sant Jnaneshwar Maharaj begins by extolling the greatness of the word and appears quite notable, which appears quite notable. It gives meaning to the sound, it helps to reflect upon the formless self, it gives knowledge to the ignorant, it brings glory to the space by giving it Shabda Tattva, it helps to bring the world of names and forms into existence. It lays down the do's and don'ts of scriptural statements. It gives power to the mantras. It makes Mahavakya Upadesha possible. And at the height of its glory, it voluntarily offers itself, self annihilation in gaining self knowledge. This is its greatness. See how beautifully the whole thing has been put in one paragraph. It gives meaning to the sound. When there is no meaning to the sound, what is it called? Noise. Noise. But when we are speaking, about Amrutanubhava, it has got a meaning. It is not bud 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 bud. Then second, it helps to reflect upon the formless self. How do you interact with the formless self? How do you interact that which does not have a name and form? How do you interact with that which does not have any attributes or qualities? Even though you are that, and you are not ready to accept it, that you are the infinite one, how do we interact? So, where we are at this moment, the best way is through the word, because word gives us some meaning, word gives us some semblance, and taking that, because we are very matter oriented, intellect also being part of the matter. So we want to intellectualize, we want to understand, we want to logicalize, and through that, again and again, through the words, your attention is being brought to the knower, to the observer, to the witness, in whose presence the words are coming and going. And what are these words? These words are, we are talking about the observer, which you really are. And this way, your attention is brought to the formless principle. See, then it gives knowledge to the ignorant. This is us, little bit understanding we get. We move around. Ignorance means to the ignorant. Ignorant means who is established in individuality. He is ignorant. Who considers he is the body, breath, mind, intellect. He is the ignorant. See? So it brings knowledge to such a person. What is that? It gives knowledge to the ignorant. And that is why people, once they get exposed to some satsang or to puja or to mantra, they chant, they go to temples, they go on pilgrimages, they read the books, scriptures, because they want to know more about that formless, attributeless reality. They want to know if there is a cause of this world, if there is a base of this world, a foundation of this world, who is it? They are not ready to accept themselves, so they go to God. But here in the script, and that is all possible through words only, no? So the word is given, the creator was Brahmaji, the maintainer is Vishnu, the destroyer is Shiva, and you start believing it, and nothing wrong, absolutely fine. At least you have a higher altar to surrender. Otherwise, we are in our own head. I am all that there is as the body. The next one is it brings glory to the space by giving it Shabda Tattva. The, just as the quality of the space is sound, the quality of the air is sound and touch, the quality of the fire is sound, touch, and form, the quality of water is sound, touch, form, and taste, and quality of the earth is sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. So these are this is the qualities of the five elements. The 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 space is available, the quality of the space is available in its effect called air. The quality of the both is available in fire. The quality of the three is available in water. The quality of all the four is available in the earth, which is the grossest. Similarly, we get all these five senses. And so here what he's saying is that the quality of the space was sound. And what is this sound? It is the unstruck sound. It is the continuous, homogeneous sound of which is going on. That continuous syllable, then as where objectivity comes in, it breaks up into the various consonant vowels and consonants, and eventually comes we use it as words. So, uh, so it where are we? It brings glory to the space by giving it the Shabda Tattva, and it is true. In scriptures also it is said, first came the word, from the word came the creation, all the aspects of the creation, because you cannot know any aspect of the creation without the word. You know space only because there is a word called space. You know table because there is a word called table. Both are coexisting. Understand this, that the moment senses came into existence, they became activated. That very moment, simultaneously, the world also became available to the senses. You feel that the child is born, and now the world was there before the child, and the world will be there after the person has died. But for whom? For you. You feel that way. But ask the child, there was no world before. There was no world before for him. If world for him begins when he opens his eyes, when his senses become active. With the first breath, the world becomes available to him. With the last breath, world ceases to exist for him. It is we who are living in this fool's world that the world is continuous, because we are not subjective. We are only observing the outside. It has to be a subjective. Have you experienced the world before your birth? No. Will you experience the world after death? No. Which means world is temporary. But we don't believe that way. We don't look at it that way. And towards this, the words help us to reassess the status of where the world, ourselves, who we are, etc., etc. They act as the pointers which we told before. So, it helps to bring the world of names and forms into existence. So understand this principle, that there is, if there is a name in your word, in your vocabulary, there is something Every form, name and form, every form will have a name and every name will have a form. It's a foregone conclusion. Next one, it lays down it lays down the do's and don'ts of scriptural statements. All scriptures are nothing but words. Hmm? All scriptures are nothing but words. What are they talking about? Do's and don'ts. That is at a very gross level, what you should do and what you should not do. But remember what Nachiket asked, Anyatra dharmat, anyatra dharmat. What is beyond the do's and don'ts? What is who is the witness of do's and don'ts? Who is transcendental to do's and don'ts? So, if you are thinking that you are the body and you have to do something, what is that you should do and what you should not do? You should not get attached to the world. Who is telling you this? The world. You should contemplate on the truth. Who is telling you this? The words. Do's and don'ts. How do you become inspired that you are the pristine, immaculate, all pervading self? All these words which I used, pristine is a word, immaculate is a word, all pervasive is a word, self is a word. So, in this manner, the, the words are able to guide us so that we become available to ourselves. It gives power to the mantras. So, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. All these are just are words, and each word it invokes huge volumes of scriptures have been written by just by meditating, contemplating on these mantras, and therefore when it gives power to the mantras, people chant these mantras and they practice Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti Para. If they are sincerely with faith, love, and devotion chanting these mantras, they go into Samadhi. See? So, is the Samadhi coming from outside? No. The word, you when you chant Om Namah Shivaya, you have that month. If there is no mantra, there is no Om, there is no Namah Shivaya. Just sit. What will you have faith on? What will you surrender to? What will you meditate upon? What will you be devoted to? You need something. As an individual, you need something. As long as you are identified with something, meaning I am this body, I am this form, till then you need some support. This is how we are wired. So we take the mantra as the support, and as what that mantra stands for, what does Om stand for, what does Namaha stand for, what does the word Shivaya stand for. When we understand understand that mantra in its total sense, on one hand understanding the meaning, second hand that meaning will become available only when we are devoted to the mantra, only when we are single pointed on the mantra, when we are surrendered to the mantra, when we are chanting the mantra with love and faith and devotion. Then the power within the mantra reveals itself. Who is the power? The Lord Shiva himself. Who is that Lord Shiva? He is the formless reality, attributeless reality. And where is he? He is everywhere. So is he within me? Yes, he is. He alone is expressing through you. And that leads to samadhi, that leads to the yoga, the union. So it gives power to the mantras. Without a word, there is no mantra. Without a word, there is no mantra possible. You cannot have a silent mantra. It makes Mahavakya Upadesh possible. Prajnanam Brahma, Ayam Atma Brahma, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, Ekameva Dvitiyam Nana. All these various Upadeshas, instructions. Prajnanam Brahma, knowledge is Brahman, I am Atma Brahma, I am that Brahma, Tattvamasi, you are that. This Atma is Brahma, then Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahma, all connected. One level to the next level to the next level to the next level. Dissolution, you are gone. You become all pervasive. So all these instructions, these beautiful contemplations, these words which do not lead to any conclusion are only possible because of the usage of words. Therefore, the teachers, the Upanishads, or the teachers taking the Upanishads and their own direct experience are able to guide the student. Through what? Through the Upadesh of Mahavakyas, which are nothing but words, as I just mentioned. And at the height of the glory, it voluntarily offers itself self-annihilation in gaining self-knowledge. And this is the beauty of our scriptures. The beauty of scriptures is every Mahavakya leaves no result behind. Just like camphor, once it is burnt, there is no residue left behind. No residue. Once a cell multiplies into two, there is no residue left behind. Exactly the same way. The Mahavakyas, Tattvamasi, when you internalize it, you come to conclusion, Aham Brahmasmi. The teacher has told you Tattvamasi. Then what is I am Brahman? Now, should I see, hear, touch, feel, taste, imagine, conceptualize, logicalize, infer something? No. No conclusion. In that no conclusion, the word Aham Brahmasmi becomes null and void. It dies its own death. There is no precipitation of any thought once what Aham Brahmasmi stands for. And what Aham Brahmasmi stands for? My true nature. That I, in essence, and the essence of the world, Brahman, is one and the same. Just as the space inside the house and the space outside the house by nature are one and the same. There is no division within the space. Then what are these walls and houses and countries? They are all imaginary divisions that are created. Space is pervading those divisions also. Only we haven't developed the eye to see that. Words enable us to be that all-pervasive conscious space, not inert space. If inert space is so pervasive in and through all the objects, how much more potent will the conscious space be? So all these Mahavakyas, they lead to no conclusion. Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Swarupa. None of these words leave any conclusion behind. And in this manner, now, Uh, so at the height of its glory, it voluntarily offers itself, self-annihilation. No scripture of the world other than the Upanishads, other than the words of the masters like this.
Alert from calendar, Mayday, Northern Territory. Alert from calendar, Labor Day, Queensland.
No other scripture of the world deletes the word, self-annihilates. Upanishads again and again. I'm not talking about the first part or the second part of the Vedas. I'm talking about Upanishads. They have the capacity and the courage and the clarity to declare that in the end is the Mahavakyas. Even us, the Upanishads, have to be discarded. Discarded means you have to transcend the Upanishads. Meaning, in other words, Upanishads are nothing but words. You have to transcend the words. You have to transcend the Mahavakyas, which are nothing but words, which come in the Upanishad. So in this way, it at the height of the glory, it voluntarily offers itself. The word voluntarily offers itself. This right now may be only a theory for you, but if you do any mantra, if you chant Om or any other mantra, when you go through Vaikhari, Madhyama, Pashyanti, Para, what is happening? The gross mantra is becoming subtle mantra is becoming unmanifest mantra. So what is happening? Self-annihilation is happening. The mantra is leading to itself to its own death. See? If we understand that death is self-knowledge. However, the glory of the word stops here. In the realm of the truth, the power of the word is null and void. What did we say? In death, in the self-knowledge, the power of the word is null and void because it does not exist. Self does not exist because we call it self. Atma does not exist because we call it Atma. Even if we don't call it Atma, it's still existing. And that I am, in essence. The word may be able to remind me about the worldly things, but in Atma Tattva, which is self-effulgent and self-revealed, there is no role for the word to remind the self about itself, because remembering and forgetting are not possible in the self. This is exactly what we just now said. Remembering and forgetting, that is possible in the empirical being, which is the individuality, who has considered himself to be somebody, someone, something. Where there is duality, there remembering and forgetting is possible. But in that homogeneous consciousness, the homogeneous self, there is no place for remembering and forgetting. Why? Swam Prakasha, it is self-illumined. In seeking to experience the immortal self, there can be no question of wanting the alambana or support of the word or the world of plurality which the world represents. So first we have to be clear. What do we want out of life? We are listening to the satsang, but are we subjective? Are we very clear that what we are seeking is beyond the word? What we are seeking is beyond the realm of the mind and intellect. Mind cannot feel it. The senses cannot see, hear, touch, feel, taste the self. The mind cannot feel the self. Intellect cannot think or conceptualize or logicalize the self. And this is the equipment with which we are working day in and day out. We have got so used to it. And then we employ this equipment of body, of senses, mind, and intellect to search for the self. Right now, you're using your sense called ear and your mind and intellect to interact with this information. But while you are interacting with this information, where is your attention? Is your attention on the world? Is your attention on the words? Is your attention on the ears? Is your attention on the mind, the feeling that is welling up? Is your attention on the logic, understanding? Or is your attention on the self, the nature of the self that these words are indicating? So, just as in today's meditation, we said Om releases a lot of energy, vibration, and that vibration will go wherever you focus. If you focus on the words, so the Lord Death, Yamraj, told Nachiket that Om can deliver you the world and Om can deliver you the infinite reality. If you chant Om continuously with faith and reverence, it can deliver you. Because if your attention is on the world and you are chanting Om, it will give you the world. It will deliver you the world. But you will not be at peace. You will not be at peace. Why? Because world is changing. You think, if I get this bottle, if I get this book, if I get this laptop, if I get this fan, if I get this phone, if I get this, if I can travel to these places, if if I travel to the space and come back, I will be happy. But the unhappiness continues. So no amount of interaction with the finite world can give you infinite peace, tranquility, happiness. No amount of it. That peace, tranquility, happiness is your essential nature. So there it was told, Etad alambanam shreshtham, Etad alambanam param. It is the bestest of the supports. It is the ultimate support. But there also it has been told that yes, the support is there. You have to not just think, you have to chant it. But what is the journey of the chant? Gross to subtle, subtle to causal, causal to transcendental. It dies its own death. Who dies? The word dies. Who knows? If you are the witness of the dissolution of the word, what remains behind? You. Who are you? The witness without anything to witness. That is realization. The witness without anything to witness is realization. So here when it says that in seeking to experience the immortal self, there can be no question of wanting the alambana or support of the word or the world of plurality which the word represents. So we begin the Om only with this firm resolution that this Om is only there to resolve, to checkmate everything, all other multiplicity, and eventually this Om also must dissolve itself. See, taking the question of the power of the word to destroy ignorance, taking the question of the power of the word to destroy ignorance. Now we come to the second part. So first part was the positive. The first part was the greatness of the word. Now we come to the other side, which is the power of the word to destroy the ignorance. Sant Jnaneshwar Maharaj quotes several examples to establish how this is not possible. Ignorance or avidya is that which exists in its own absence. Ignorance means not knowing. Not knowing means empty mind. Empty mind means there is nothing there. Nothing means another word, absence. How nothing can be something? It is not something. Nothing means zero. Zero has no value. Even in mathematics, zero has no value. But this is the beauty of our scriptures. Shankaracharya says, out of zero, out of that no value, zero, absence, ignorance, the whole world came out. Out of that, the whole world came out. So, what is the status of the whole world? Also zero. Now, with that expression of the zero, which as if appears to be, what is the word? Expression of that emptiness, expression of that empty space. So now we are using one of its expressions to remove the cause. That is not possible, Jnaneshwar Maharaj says here. Jnaneshwar Maharaj also says avidya or ignorance is incomplete knowledge. Incomplete knowledge makes us use too many words to explain something. So here he says, ignorance or avidya is that which exists in its own absence. This is a very, very potent statement. It can be a great contemplation. You will just vanish if you take this statement and sit with it and look at it. Contemplation is look at it from all different angles. What does it mean? Well, reflection means you look at it from all different angles. Contemplation means you are with it and you are allowing it to reveal itself. Ignorance or avidya is that which exists in its own absence. This is the double illusion. These words are samvadi brahma. It exists. That means there is satta. That which exists is truth. As what? As absence. As no truth. Now what will you say? Yeah, I understand it exists in its own absence. But when you really look at it, you have not understood anything. How can something exist without being there? And yet this is our experience. The mirage exists and there is nothing there. The blueness of the sky exists, but the sky is never blue. The sunrise and sunset exists, but sun doesn't set or sun doesn't rise. See? So ignorance or avidya is that which exists in its own absence. It is anirvachaniya, that which cannot be described. And therefore, When you understand this, that the sun cannot rise and sun doesn't set, yet it is happening, what will you talk about it? What logic will you give about it? Oh, the earth is going around. When you say there is a sunrise and sunset, do you think that the sun is going around? When you are walking on the earth, do you think that you are hanging upside down? When you are looking at something, do you think that all the image of the world is only upside down in your eyes, in your retina? You don't go with that way, you just accept what is. So this is anirvachaniya, inexplainable. It is anirvachaniya, that which cannot be described. So it appears under certain circumstances. The conditions have to be right in order for this phenomena of this anirvachaniya phenomena to indescribable phenomena which is seen, experienced, etc., to be talked about. Certain conditions. Now, we have given you only the blueness, the sunrise, sunset, etc. You can keep coming. Another anirvachaniya is, this is the world, I know this is the world, I am not the world. But this is the body, I know this is the body, but I am the body. I am the body. This is anirvachaniya. Why the rule changes? Another anirvachaniya, indescribable, is the eyes are not attached to any form or color. The mind is not attached to any senses or the thoughts. But yet I feel that I am attached to so many things. Where is this attachment? Where is this crystallization of individuality? Where is this? When did it begin? Who is this person who's saying that I am this body, I am this mind, I am this intellect, I am so many years old, I am diseased, or I am hungry, or I am seer, hearer, toucher, feeler, taster, waker, dreamer, sleeper? Who is this? When you look at it and start inquiring into it, you will find there is nobody there. Therefore, anirvachaniya. Are baapre. That's why in Taittiriya Upanishad, when the student realizes that it is like this, he cannot say anything and he just says, ha, hu. These are the only words that come out of his mouth. He is at his wit's end. Contemplation must bring us to this point. Otherwise, we are living in the loop of ignorance, which expresses as waker, dreamer, sleeper, which expresses as aham and idam, expresses as tu main, kabaddi khelte raho. We have to come out of this. Uske liye to. So here when he says that that ignorance or avidya is that which exists in its own absence, it is anirvachaniya, unspeakable, that which cannot be described. It is such a great power of Maya Shakti that it conceals its own illusory nature and gains the status of real presence. That it hides its own real nature. What is its own real nature of Maya? Absence. Maya's nature is absence, ignorance, that which does not exist. And what does it appear as? As solidified world, as the gross world, the subtle world, the causal world. And you get lost. A person gets lost in this gross, subtle and causal and forgets that it is all a product of Maya. And what is Maya? Another word for it is ignorance. And what is it? That which exists in its own absence. So where does the world exist? In its own absence. World meaning name and form. World meaning time, space, objectivity. World meaning waking, dream, and deep sleep. Where is it existing? In its own absence. And what have we taken? It to be real. Now, इसमें से कौन किसको निकालेगा? सब बेवकूफ बने हुए हैं. It is such a great power of Maya Shakti that it conceals its own illusory nature and gains the status of a real presence. You may understand sunrise and sunset is fake, it is illusory. But when you show it to a child, or when you are looking at it just now in the retreat, beautiful sunset, we forget the illusory nature of it. Oh, such a divine sunset. What a beautiful orb of the sun. What a beautiful light. We can't see it from the city. Here it is so crystal clear. Ah, well, look at the colors in the sky after the sunset. Oh, it thrills you. You also, even though after all this, we get carried away by the phenomena. What is phenomena? That which exists in its own absence. So that which exists in its own absence has got no reality, has got no status of reality. It is not there only. So this world has also come into existence. What is this world? That which does not exist. It is existing in its own absence. Then why is it coming seemingly real? Because of Maya Shakti. When does Maya Shakti function? Under certain sets of circumstances. What are the, just like the sun rays have to be at a particular angle falling on the earth, only then the mirage is created. The sunrise and sunset happen only at a particular time under certain circumstances. 24 hours a day you cannot have a sunrise or sunset. Similarly, when does the world appear real? Only when life is expressing as if through this equipment and taking the equipment to be real, then the world appears to be real. In the same equipment, a Mahatma is also functioning. He doesn't take the world to be real. He takes the world to be I, as the self. He doesn't get affected. He doesn't get attached. So where is this illusion? When is this Maya functioning? This Maya is able to overpower us as long as we are the slave of the Maya. Maya is not able to influence us, meaning the world is not able to impose its reality on us. If we are transcended, if we are abiding in the self, then the world becomes a zero. It is not able to influence. So that special circumstance, the Maya Shakti is able to influence us when we become slave of the Maya Shakti. Maya Shakti is able to influence us when we accept Maya as reality. When we give importance and value to Maya Shakti. Maya Shakti at individual level is what? Your mind. Have you seen the shape of the mind? You have seen thoughts. You have seen the object called thoughts. But have you seen Maya? Have you seen the mind? So what did it say? The Maya, what was the word? The Maya conceals its illusory nature and gains the status of real presence. So nobody has seen the mind. But what is the real presence? Thoughts, ideas, imaginations, name, form. So you have given value. What do you keep going around in the world as? I am this mind. You don't keep saying I am the mind, but you have accepted that you are the mind. You are not accepting that you are the witness. You are not accepting that you are the homogeneous consciousness or the Atma. Till then, लगे रहो. To talk of to to talk of removing non-existent ignorance by the word is foolishness. To remove ignorance, that which does not exist, through word, who is the product of ignorance, is foolishness. Now this has to be imbibed. You have to sit and coolly internalize this. Then what will happen? And you will be silent. Maunam vyakhyat prakatita parabrahma tattvam. You will become silent. Then there will be no need to communicate, there will be no need to talk. We are not against talking. If someone comes and talks, we reply, but we are not involved in it. See? Nor can the word claim any glory for revealing the truth. Now remember, now what we are doing, we are seeing the limitations of the word. First we are seeing the greatness, and now we are seeing the limitation of the word. So what was the first limitation? That it is a product of ignorance. Second, word cannot remove the ignorance. Now the word cannot reveal the self, reveal the truth. Truth is self-effulgent, self-revealing, and is not dependent on any source of authority to prove its existence. If we talk about some sources, scriptural source, Upanishadic source, by doing pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, samadhi, all this is self-existing, self is self-illumined, self is self-revealed. That is the truth. Truth is self. It does not need a crutch of a word in order to stand up. It is self-standing. If my leg is broken, I need a crutch to stand up and move around. If I am mentally broken down, then I need a crutch of a affirmation. If I need a crutch of a psychiatrist to come back and gain confidence. If I am sick, I need the crutch of medicine to be healthy. The mother needs the crutch of a child to be a mother. If there is no child, mother is not there. She'll go into depression, she'll go into sadness. Yet Ammaji, without any, there also at totality, she needs all the children to be the mother. One way of looking at it. Other way of looking at it is she is infinite. If people are coming, let them come. If they don't come, she is still fine. But motherhood is expressing through her. For whom? For the people. She is the mother of the universe, not just one person. This is expansion. She is not dependent on anyone. Ocean is not because of the waves. Whether waves are there or not there, ocean continues to be ocean. Ammachi is not there because of the devotees. She is there whether the devotees are there or not there. Can you live like that? That I am not there because of the world. Whether the world is there or not there, I am who I am. That world includes your husband, your wife, your children, your parents, your body, your breath, your mind, your intellect, your shortcomings, your positive points, your desires, everything the world includes. And how do you know this? All these things that I just explained to you that the world includes? Only through word. Only through word. So it is told here, nor the word can claim any glory for revealing the truth. Truth is self-effulgent, self-revealing, and is not dependent on any source of authority to prove its existence. As such, the word has no entry in the divine presence. Yato vacho nivartante. Taittiriya Upanishad says, the word have no entry into the divine presence. Darkness has no entry in the sun. The wave has got no entry in the water. It has got no entry. Phenomena has got no validity in that which is. So when we are thinking, we are talking, we are listening right now, this is phenomena going on. And who are you? Who are we indicating through the words? What is our essential nature? It is beyond the phenomena. Supporting the phenomena, but not touched by the phenomena. Can we be that? Then what is the process of phenomena? The phenomenal processes from manyness of the phenomena come to one phenomena. For example, the phenomena of the mantra or the word. And with correct understanding, when we come to it, that phenomena, the last phenomena, aham brahmasmi, that statement also dissolves and goes away. And you are there. And therefore it is told, the word does not have entry in the divine presence. The eyes cannot see themselves, nor can the tongue taste itself, nor can space, etc. So also it is not possible for the word to make the self know itself. These examples were taken by Jnaneshwar Maharaj in this chapter. As simple as it is for us to understand that the eyes are revealing all the colors and forms, but the eyes cannot see themselves. But are the eyes there? Yes. Is the vision there? Yes. But can the vision illuminate the eyes themselves, which are part of this world? No. Can all the senses put together come to know the mind? Not possible. Can the mind come to know the eye? That is also not possible, because mind is inert. Eye is the intelligent principle. See? Can the eye come to know the life force, the life principle, because of which aham and idam are expressing? No, I cannot come to know. But when it makes its journey towards that life principle, it dissolves. So when the senses, when the eyes try to look at themselves, the world dissolves. When the senses focus on the mind, the whole world dissolves. When the mind thinks about the I, the inner world also dissolves. That is called pratyahar or dharana. That dissolution is the pratyahar part. So initiate this approach, and where are we? So just as eye cannot see themselves, nor can the various senses, so also it is not possible for the word to make self known itself. Similarly, when the I goes to search the I, not this I, but the I am, that I. When the individual I goes to search, it has understood that it is the infinite one, it is the constant one, it is the unchanging one. Now it is not interested, I know the find, I know the senses, I know the world. No, it doesn't care about the world, it doesn't care about the senses, it doesn't care about the thoughts. Now the only thought that is left is Om, or who am I, or Aham Brahmasmi. Can these words reveal the self? No, they cannot reveal the self. Then when will the self reveal? It doesn't have to reveal, you are already that. Then why, if I am already that, it is not revealing? Because you are still holding on to who am I? You are still holding on to Aham Brahmasmi. You are still wanting to experience yourself objectively. That's why it's not revealing itself. Let go of the word. Let go of the mantra. When letting go of the mantra is passively spoken, the yato vacho nivardante. The mantra cannot, the word cannot take you, cannot reveal the self. This is what it means. Paramatma Tattva is solid space with potential to support infinite shapes and forms and remain untouched itself. So, Paramatma Tattva, the water, just replace Paramatma Tattva with water. Water is solid space. That means water is solid. Water means all encompassing water. There is nothing but water in water, with potential to support infinite shapes of oceans and waves and tides and froth and droplets, and remain untouched itself. And even though the phenomena of all these forms of ocean, wave, etc. is seen on the water, water is unaffected by what it supports. Gold is unaffected by all the ornaments that it supports. The mud is unaffected by all the pots that it supports. Same way, here the comparison is being made. Paramatma Tattva is solid space, that means conscious space. Chit Ghana. Ghana means solid, homogeneous, continuous mass of consciousness, solid space, with potential to support infinite shapes and forms and remain untouched itself, whereas the word only creates multiplicity and ignorance. Word creates division. Word creates the knower and the known. The word creates experience and the experienced. The word creates seer and seen. So, duality, that duality then eventually becomes a phenomena of multiplicity. So, knowingness cannot know itself because there is no knower. So, this knowingness, that is my nature, there is no knower of the person who knows that every day waking, dream, deep sleep, come and go. There is no knower. You come to know the dreamer when you wake up to become the waker. When you wake up from the waker, you come to realize, hey, I am the one who knows the waking, dream, sleep, coming and going. Who knows the one who knows these three? No one. That knowingness cannot know itself because there is no knower. That knowingness is self-existing. You cannot keep going back and back and back ad infinitum. Knowingness cannot know itself because there is no knower-known difference. Pure consciousness is knower-known as well as knowledge. The word has no entry in this realm. Just as the water is in and through is the only material which has gone into making the ocean and the waves and the various forms of the gold is the only material which has gone into making all the ornaments. Before the ornament, gold was. When the ornament is there, the gold is. After the ornament is melted, still the gold will continue. Creation, maintenance, and death. Similarly, this consciousness that I am is the continuous one. All the names and forms, all the waker, dreamer, and sleeper are pervaded by this consciousness. So from consciousness point of view, just as from the water's point of view or from the gold point of view, there is no multiplicity of waves, oceans, etc. From gold's point of view, there is no multiplicity of ornaments. Every ornament has a name, necklace, bangle, etc., etc. Every expression on the water, which is appearing in its own absence, has a name. Ocean, wave, drop, tide, froth, droplet. Similarly, all the multiplicity in and through which, the only material that is consciousness which is expressing, all multiplicity has the name. The consciousness is supporting the entire multiplicity, as if. But what is the status of multiplicity? Zero. So here he says that when we do neti neti, not this, then the status of multiplicity is zero. But when we look at it from the source, from the consciousness point of view, that is gold or water point of view, there is nothing but water, there is nothing but gold. When we look from outside the water, there is ocean and wave. When we look from outside, there is different ornaments, names and forms. But when we take the position of the gold, there is only gold. Similarly, when we look at it from individuality, where duality, so this individuality is only possible where there is world. It's a part of the world. So when we look at it from the point of world, there is names and forms. But when we accept that we are the consciousness, Then what is the angle? What is the view from the consciousness? Only consciousness. Only consciousness. So then all the knower known knowing, experiencer experienced experiencing, seer seen seeing, hearer heard hearing, the triputis, waker waking world waking experience, dreamer dream world dream experience, absence of the two, all that is reality for you. But for the consciousness, from consciousness point of view, I alone am. Now you have the bhav that this consciousness that I am is pervading. Understand, just as gold is pervading all the forms of the gold, the ornaments, it is not affected by the form. If the form is melted, gold is not melted, gold continues to be the same. If the wave is there or not there, water continues to be water. If the ocean is there or not there, water continues to be water. Similarly, if the forms, which are not other than words, are there or not there, consciousness that I am continues to be the same. Every thought is made by the triputi, subject, object, and instrument of knowledge. That triputi, waker, waking world and waking experience, dreamer, dream world and dream experience, knower, known and knowing, seer, seen and seeing. So this triputi, this triad, is that which creates the thought in the mind. Thought cannot appear if only one object of the three is there. Only if knower is there, there will be no thought. Only instrument is there, there will be no thought. Only if object is there, there will be no thought. You need three. But these three are pervaded by whom? Pervaded by the consciousness. Just as gold is pervading all the ornaments, the consciousness is pervading all the triputis, the triads. So this is the all-inclusive vision. That what is this all-inclusive? We are using the word all-inclusive. There is nothing to include. That is the status of reality. It is all that there is. So how can the words which are product of the triputi, the triad, how can they reveal that which is infinitely present, continuously present? Words have a temporary status. So here it says that whereas the word only creates multiplicity and ignorance, knowingness cannot know itself because there is no knower-known difference. Pure consciousness is knower-known as well as knowledge. The word has no entry in the realm. So pure self is, pure consciousness is knower-known as well as knowledge. Means all the three. But who is imagining these three? Who is imagining these three? Where is these three happening, taking place? These three are taking place in the equipment. What is the status of the equipment? On one hand, it exists in its own absence. On the other hand, only consciousness is there. On that consciousness, this phenomena of knower known knowing, that is going on. See, both you have to, and that's you. You are the one who is supporting all the names, all the forms. You are the one, in essence, who is supporting the waker, dreamer, sleeper, waker, waking world, waking experience, dreamer, dream world, dream experience. We get affected by it. We get enslaved by it. We react to it. We expect it. We desire it. But who are we essentially? The untouched one, supporting all phenomena, but untouched by the phenomena. Why? We are untouched. Because we are the material which is going in and through the whole phenomena. It's not that the phenomena is happening there and I'm standing here watching it. This is the first stage, that is witnessing. Coming to this Chin Mudra, the realization is that all this is pervaded by the self alone, by the consciousness alone. All that is pervaded by the consciousness. This language is used by ignorant people for each other, like we and you and me are using. But from consciousness point of view, it doesn't need to make this statement. It is. And yet, realized masters who are established in the self, they know the status of the world, they know who they are, yet they use the words to guide the seekers. Then the words become the glory of that self. They become the vibhuti. The heat and light of the sun is its glory. It spreads far and wide. Similarly, these words now no longer are an impediment. They are an impediment when we are dependent on them. They are an impediment when we are taking their support. When we are using them as a crutch. But what do Mahatmas do? Mahatmas also speak. For them, from them it is expressing as their glory. It is inseparable. The spiritual sadhana consists in rejecting disproportionate invocation of knowingness and focus attention on the sentiency and develop the strength to express the knowledge-ness in the world or withdraw it into its own source at free will. See? So, what is the spiritual sadhana? It consists in rejecting disproportionate invocation of knowingness. What is the knowingness? I know the world, I know the past, I know the future, I know the waker, I know the dreamer, I know the sleeper, I know so many words that are coming to me. I understood this idea, I have understood the Amrutanubhava, I have studied the Gita, and goes on and on and on. I know the father, I know the mother, I know the sister, I know the money in the bank, I know all the memories in my mind. Knowingness. When we withdraw our knowingness from all these and focus attention on the sentiency, when we withdraw our knowingness from the multiplicity and focus it on the life principle, on the expression of consciousness through everything. What is that? Who is knowing? What is that which is alive? What is that which is the knowing aspect, knower aspect? So everything must continue, but your attention is not out there, not on the equipment, your attention is on the source, the sentiency, the dharma, the origin, the constant one, the kutastha, the unchanging one. When our attention is on that sentiency and develop the strength will not come by focusing on the multiplicity. Multiplicity breaks you, divides you, divide and rule. That's how Maya rules. But so how do we The nature of the mind is to think. So, how do you bring it all back? Be aware of the conscious principle. Be aware of the source, without whom this knowledge is not possible. Then what will happen? Integration will start happening by itself. You don't have to try anything. Your name of the game is be aware of the sentient principle. Your name of the game is to be aware of the conscious principle, life principle, and integration of the equipment automatically takes place. When your attention is outwards, disintegration takes place. When your attention is inwards, integration takes place. How? You don't have to worry how. It happens. Because if you say how, why, again you are looking outside. Disintegration will take place. This is the anirvachaniya. Have the trust, have the faith, have the confidence that it will come about. Have the conviction. Scriptures are saying it, Master is saying it, it must be possible. It must be happening. It's not my experience right now. Our problem is we want the experience first and then we will accept. Our problem is we want to learn swimming and then we will jump into the water. That's foolishness. That's stupidity. This is how it works. You become conscious while talking, while listening. You remain conscious of the conscious principle, without whom this interaction is not possible, without whom the equipment is not able to function. Automatically integration will take place. And develop the strength to express the knowingness in the world or withdraw into its own source at free will. So when this is developed, then by your own free, when you want to involve, you can be involved. When you want to withdraw, you can withdraw. Why? You have remained focused as the conscious principle. Your attention is continuously focused single-pointedly on the life principle, on the I. And then the I has the choice whether to be involved or not to be involved. This ability must come. This ability is not practiced on the outside world. You practice it in your mind. Outside world means you are lost again in the name and form, multiplicity. Your attention has to be within, on the life. What is that because of which speech is happening? What is that because of which the vision is taking place? What is that because of which the thoughts are taking place? What is that because of which the hearing is taking place? What is that because of which the hand is moving? Remain aware of that one. When we have become single pointed on that, then that single pointedness you can utilize it to achieve something in the world, or to get involved in the world, or withdraw from the world. In this way, the word cannot define. In this way, the word cannot define truth, which is the substratum of the known as well as the unknown. Other words, which is the substratum, the foundation of the manifestation and unmanifestation of all the three planes of consciousness. Three planes of consciousness: the waking, dream, and the deep sleep. A lamp lighted in midday can neither remove darkness because it is not there, nor can it illumine the daylight because it is not needed. So also the word cannot destroy ignorance. Examples are self-explanatory. We don't have to go into detail of that. So also the word cannot destroy ignorance which is not, and cannot illumine the self which is already and always self-effulgent. Just like a light cannot destroy darkness because it is not there, there's no darkness where there is lamp, and it cannot illuminate light because light is already present. Similarly, the word cannot destroy ignorance because it is not there, and it cannot illuminate knowledge because it is already there. And that is you, don't forget. In the absolute truth, the duality of knower known disappears, and only I remains, just as in the deluge, the two words river and ocean have no existence, both having already merged in deluge waters. Where there are deluge waters, all specific expressions of water are submerged, are overpowered by the waters. Now, what is seen? Only water, the general water, no specific expressions of water. Like pond, lake, rivers, their individual existence is no longer there. So, in the deluge of consciousness, waker river, dream river, deep sleep river, deep sleep ocean, all these become merged in the consciousness, overpowered by the consciousness, pervaded by the consciousness. This becomes this becomes your natural state. Have no existence, both having already merged in the deluge waters. When the thunderous noise of words fade away, all miseries disappear, and only the joy of the absolute eloquent silence remains, which is the truth. So when the thunderous noise of the words fade away, what is the thunderous noise of the words? This is the thunder that is coming to you right now. Continuous blabbering. Or it could be the thunderous noise of the chanting of Om or your mantra. When that fades away, when does it fade away? Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti Para. That is the fading. Then what happens? What remains? Then silence, conscious silence remains. That conscious silence is the eloquent silence. That silence is not sleep. Mind has gone to sleep, but you are awake. Sleep is not something, is not an object. It is absence of everything. So it is not an object. What is this? You are. In this way, the great saint has clearly defined the true worth of the word in the kingdom of the truth, and also in the perspective of the goal to be reached. The word is neither to be destroyed nor overvalued, but it is to be used just is to be used just to that limited extent by which it will propel the seeker into the divine orbit, and then one should have the wisdom to drop the word. This is how we must interact with the world. Don't overvalue it and don't undervalue it, but use it to propel us. Like that pole vaulter uses the pole to propel himself to a particular height, and only when he is clear of the hurdle at that height, then he leaves the pole also. Same way we use the word from multiplicity to unity, from outside to inside. We come to the and where the vision is clear as to who we are, which is possible only when we are single pointed in our mind. We may take the support, but don't hold on. Don't feel guilty because you are not chanting the mantra. I did not do my mantra chanting today. I did not do this today. Lage raho phir. So when he says that don't overvalue and undervalue it, overvalue means don't become dependent on it, don't become attached to it. Use it to its natural conclusion. and have the wisdom to drop the word. So when you come to the who am I, don't keep chanting who am I, who am I, who am I. Nothing is going to happen. You have to understand the impact of that statement. You have to understand I am, I am, I am. You don't have to prove yourself that you are already. So why did you bring your mind from everything to I am? So that you can drop this I am also. For that, integrity is required. Integration is required. Wisdom is required. Wisdom is not that I am, therefore I exist. No, I exist, therefore I am is coming and going, coming and going. Have the wisdom to drop. Let there be silence. And that is the conclusion of this Shabda Khandana, words devalued. And next class we will enter into Ajnana Khandana. Uh, igno- First we deny ignorance denied. First we denied Satchidananda, then we denied the words. Now we are denying the ignorance. Let's see where Naneshwar Maharaj takes us. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om, everyone.